Hello everybody, this is the iPhone channel here. Over here is the iPhone 17, over here is the iPhone Air, and today I'm going to compare the two phones to see which phone you should buy. So why not, let's go. Starting off with the price, the iPhone 17 starts at $800 with an extra $30 if you want the unlocked variant, and the iPhone Air starts at $1,000. Even though the iPhone 17 only comes in two storage capacities, aka 256 gig variant and 512 gigabyte variant, for $200 more than the 256 gig variant. In fact, there are three different storage capacity options on the iPhone Air, including 256 gigs, 512 gigs for an extra 200, and 1 terabyte of storage, especially if you want more storage. Now, even though there are 5 different color options on the iPhone 17 lineup, including lavender, sage, as well as mist blue, white, and black. In fact, there are only 4 color options on the iPhone Air, all of which are more premium colors, in my opinion, such as sky blue, light gold, cloud white, and space black. Now, as for the screen size, the iPhone Air does have a slightly bigger display than that of the iPhone 17 at 6.5 inches, compared with 6.3 inches seen on the 17, but both are still Super Retina XDR displays with ProMotion, aka 120 Hz, as well as always on display over here. And yes, so 120 Hz is finally on every single iPhone model, including the base 17, because last year the 16 and 16 Plus only has 60 Hz display. However, despite the fact the iPhone Air has a bigger display, in fact the iPhone 17 is the one with the bigger battery at 3692 mAh, compared with 3149 mAh seen on the iPhone Air, which means you definitely have a better battery life on the iPhone 17 compared with the iPhone Air. However, despite the fact the iPhone 17 has a color-infused glass as well as an aluminum frame, the iPhone Air is made of ceramic shield on the back, as well as having a titanium frame, making it more premium feeling than that of the iPhone 17. However, both phones have ceramic shield too added in the front, making it 3 times more scratch resistant than that of the original ceramic shield. And also, both phones still retain the same IP68 water resistance ratings as their predecessors, and transfer speeds on both phones are still stuck at 480 megabits per second, aka USB-C 2.0 speeds, so no USB-C 3.0 speeds on either the iPhone 17 or iPhone Air. But there is one major change compared with last year, and that is the maximum brightness. Even though the maximum indoor brightness still remains the same at 1000 nits, and the maximum HDR brightness still remains the same at 1600 nits. In fact, if you were to go outdoors, then the max brightness changed from 2000 nits all the way to 3000 nits, making both of these phones great outdoor phones. Now moving on to the processor. Even though both of these phones still have the A19, in fact the iPhone 17 has the regular A19, whilst the iPhone Air has an A19 Pro, but with a few quirks. Instead of having like a vapor chamber system and the 6-core GPU like seen on the iPhone 17 Pro series, the iPhone Air only has a 5-core GPU, just like what's seen on the regular 17, and unfortunately there is no vapor cooler, but both the A19 and the A19 Pro seen on both of these phones has 6 cores, aka 2 performance cores and 4 efficiency cores, with the 2 performance cores being clocked at 4.26 GHz, whilst the 4 efficiency cores are clocked at 2.6 GHz. And even though the iPhone 17 has 8 GB of LPDDR5 X8533 RAM, in fact the iPhone Air has 11.5 gigs, aka 12 gigabytes of LPDDR5 X8533 RAM. Now both of these phones' GPUs have neural accelerators on them. Now another major difference is in the battery department, because the iPhone 17 has a max charging speed of 40 watts for wired charging, just like the rest of the iPhone 17 lineup, whilst the iPhone Air is stuck at 20 watts, meaning the iPhone Air has slower charging speeds than that of the iPhone 17. And it's not only in wired charging, because in massive wireless charging, the iPhone 17 also has slightly faster max charging speeds compared with the iPhone Air, because the iPhone 17 has a max wireless charging speed via MagSafe of 25 watts, whilst the iPhone Air only has a max charging speed of 20 watts via MagSafe. Despite some subtle differences in the charging speed, in fact, both phones include the Apple N1 chip, which includes enhanced Wi-Fi 7, as well as Bluetooth 6, as well as improved threads, as well as improved hotspots and AirDrop performance, and a myriad of factors that I could not discuss in this video because it would be too long. But over here is Bluetooth 6, and both phones do include Bluetooth 6. However, there is one major difference in terms of connectivity, because the iPhone Air includes the C1X modem, which does not include mmWave, whilst the 17 does include mmWave. So even though only the iPhone 17 includes mmWave and the iPhone Air does not include mmWave due to having the C1X modem instead of the Qualcomm modem, in fact, both phones do support second gen ultra wideband chips, as well as, you guessed it, 5G. So why not? I'm just going to test the Wi-Fi speeds. I've configured everything to be the same here, and over here it is. As you guys can see, slightly different speeds. I'm not sure why, but it is sort of a bit comparable-ish, but I'm not too sure. Yeah, it is kind of odd. I don't know. But I'll show you guys the final results, and let's move on to the camera. The camera is where things start to get divergent between the two phones, with the iPhone 17 certainly showing the lead in terms of camera, with its 2-camera lens rather than just a single lens layout for the iPhone Air, as the iPhone 17 has a main camera, aka a 48 megapixel f1.6 camera, which is also seen on the iPhone Air. But the iPhone 17 takes it up a notch and includes a 48 megapixel ultra wide lens with an aperture of 2.2. And as you guys can see, this is how the camera is designed. And not only that, for both phones, the shots are converted to 24 megapixel shots that are sharp and bright in the dark, as well as censorship optical image stabilization, 2x optical zoom on both phones. However, the iPhone 17 is the only one with macro photography, as the iPhone Air does not include macro photography. And even with that, both phones still include 4K 60 frame per second video recording nonetheless. Now, even though the rear cameras are very different, in fact, the selfie camera is very similar, with an 18 megapixel center stage camera on both phones over here. Now, this is an f1.9 camera, and both phones support 4K video recording at 60 frames per second using the front-facing camera. So why not? I'll show you guys a camera comparison between the two phones, and I'll see you guys later. Okay guys, so over here is the front-facing video sample of the 17 on the left, the 17 Air in the middle, and the iPhone 17 Pro on the right. Okay guys, over here is the video recording sample, and over here is the restroom. And why not, I'm just going to go outside for a bit. So I'm going to continue with the Air soon, like once I go outside. And over here it is the iPhone Air, and yeah, as you guys can see, this is the video sample, and I'm currently in my apartment now. Okay guys, over here is the outdoor video sample for the regular iPhone 17, and why not, I'm just going to switch to the iPhone Air. Okay guys, over here is the video sample for the iPhone Air, and I'm currently at a discreet location, but it is definitely outside. So before going to the conclusion, why not, let me discuss to you guys about the eSIM only and the SIM card variants. Now, there is no battery milliamp hour difference between the eSIM only and the SIM card versions, unlike what's seen on the 17 Pro series. In fact, the battery capacities are the same on both variants for both the iPhone 17 and the iPhone 17 Air. But the thing is, if you live in the US, Canada, as well as Mexico, Japan, Bahrain, Kuwait, Oman, Qatar, the Saudi Arabia, and the UAE, you would get eSIM only version, and every other country gets the SIM card version. And why not? Let me tell you guys the dimensions and the weight. As the iPhone 17 at 177 grams is 12 grams heavier than that of the iPhone Air at 165 grams. And despite the fact the iPhone 17 is heavier than that of the iPhone Air, the iPhone 17 is actually a bit shorter and a bit narrower than that of the iPhone Air, as the iPhone 17 is 6.6 millimeters shorter and about 3.1 millimeters narrower than that of the iPhone Air. But the biggest thing going to be the thickness, as the iPhone 17 is definitely far thicker and chubbier than that of the iPhone Air, as the iPhone 17 is 7.95 millimeters thick, whilst the iPhone Air is 5.64 millimeters thick, making it 2.31 millimeters thicker on the iPhone 17 compared to that of the iPhone Air. So here's the conclusion. I do believe the iPhone Air is best for those who want a thin and beautiful phone, and the phone they could flex, but has a slightly better processor and a bigger screen, especially if they want a bigger screen and more RAM. But I do believe the iPhone 17 regular is best for those who want a less expensive phone, $200 less than the iPhone Air, but want more camera features, better charging speeds, better battery life, and just overall more practicality, as I do believe the iPhone 17 is more utilitarian than that of the iPhone Air. So thank you guys for watching. Please give a big thumbs up, subscribe for more videos. I'll see you guys soon.